Shut your mouth, Kyle. You're so evil. DarbyCast, Wildcard Friday. Kyle was telling me that he's not super thrilled that we have a foreign communist running America's largest city now. Kyle, you got to go to college and understand that that's what the founding fathers envisioned. What George Washington probably said in his private journal entries is that one day I hope we can get some guy who shares none of our values to run something pretty important. He's got big ideas, Kyle, and you're just narrow-minded and evil. Sure, New York has been experiencing an ongoing crime wave that they refuse to assess, analyze, count individual crimes. But this new guy, Zohran Mamdani, he said we should abolish prisons because crime is a social construct. Kyle, if I stabbed you in the leg, that's just an abstract idea. Do you understand? Because if you don't, you're a dumbass and you're probably a Nazi. The only people who oppose letting criminals run wild are bigots. Kyle, you need to educate yourself and maybe hang out with guys named Lawson, Dawson, Halston, perhaps, maybe Sutton, Weston, Preston, Dutton, because they're going to tell you what's really going on and how we run this country properly. It's by having a coalition of low-T foreigners who don't speak English presiding over women on mind control drugs, SSRIs. That's what Thomas Jefferson had in mind. He said, I hope that everything we've fought for eventually gets handed away to people who hate us, because that is important. That's what it probably says in his private journal. Kyle, we need to look to the United States, Lawson, Dawson, and Halston, because they've got it figured out. You don't lift weights. You don't believe in anything other than gay race communism. And you don't really believe in marriage. And you allow women with nose rings to treat you like shit. USA. USA. Of course you didn't begin chanting with me right there, Kyle. It's because you're un-American. And you don't understand the inherent superiority of the Lawson-Dawson-Halston coalition. You got to understand that life is about going to adult arcades and drinking hoppy IPAs and then having little bastard children with tattooed women. That's how you build a real society. Picture how amazing this would be for a second, Kyle. What if your name was Halston and you had a son named Preston? And one day Preston came home from his after-school gay porn club and he says to you, Dad, I love Karl Marx and I admire that you're such a big old cuck in the literal sense. Your wife's just down the street getting pumped by some garbage man behind a dumpster. It's a little slice of Americana that you should be leaning into, Kyle. As your wife is domestic partner, you're not married. What am I saying? As your partner is getting dominated by a guy who might have HIV because he's progressive, he's bisexual, you can hear the Islamic call to prayer, and inside your house, you can hear little rats scurrying around. Now that is what I call a country. That's what we're all hoping for ourselves, is to have rats and Islamic prayer blasting in an alternating fashion. A little bit of rat squeak, a little bit of Islamic prayer. That's not only what the founding fathers wanted for you, that's probably what Jesus wanted for you too, Kyle. Preston gets his ass kicked every day by everybody, and he just takes it. That sounds pretty cool, right, Kyle? You can't fight back. That's not American to fight back. The essence of being an American is just taking it on the chin. Otherwise, people will call you mean. And if people call you mean, they're automatically right. And you have to do whatever they say. That's the USA in a nutshell. That's, I believe, what constitutional scholars have uncovered recently about the true nature of being an American is you just get cornholed all the time, and you're governed by foreigners and drunk chicks and little idiot kids, some of them with weapons. Kyle, I wish you could experience the joy of living in a city and just get stabbed all the time and have your wallet stolen, because that's not even real, right? It's a social construct like we talked about. So it's pretty much nothing. Filth accumulating everywhere. And you just rise above it because you're like, well, I've got a bastard kid that I've got shared custody of with a woman that I pumped when I was way too hammered at my local gastropub. Get aligned, Kyle. Get excited about this. Because if you don't, people are going to hurt you. You just got to face it. You have really bad ideas. You're a bad guy overall. And all of your weird little sensibilities about what a country should be, and that it should kind of look like countries of the past, and that we shouldn't be pressing towards what seem like pretty obviously bad ideas at a breakneck pace. Throw that out. Get a "I voted for Mamdani" shirt, Kyle. I know we live on the West Coast, but like get a shirt like that, because that's also a big part of things is you just vote from anywhere. You don't need ID. So just let people know that you're on board with everything going on in America's largest city. I'm so shocked and really disgusted by you, Kyle, that you don't understand that being a low T kind of guy is what's cool now. I'm trying to do you a favor here and say it's not about being respected. It's about being liked. And the most surefire way to be liked is to always let other people have their way, especially if they're loud or they don't speak coherent English or they don't share your values or anything like that. That's rule number 1 in being liked, Kyle. Open a book. Some of you right now might be thinking to yourselves, hey, Kyle's got a lot of pretty valid points. There could be more to life than being an effeminate loser. And I'm here to tell you, you're going to jail, which doesn't exist. But it should, for thought crimes, not for real crimes. Thought crimes. That's the worst thing that you can do. Kyle, you better be taking notes. Kyle, you should probably just off yourself. Because I'm looking at your face and you've got this persistent grimace as if what I'm saying is somehow out of bounds. And I don't know if we can fix you. If you haven't figured out that being a gay race communist is as American as apple pie, I don't know if you're ever going to get it. Therefore, you must be hurt and discarded. The right side of history is calling, Kyle, and you're not picking up the phone. How many times have you been raped this week, Kyle? Probably not enough. Kyle, you need to go out in the world and get raped this week. Otherwise, you're not going to understand functionally what it means to be an abused victim, which is the ethically correct lane for you to occupy. All these rules, they don't apply to the foreigners. The foreigners are the coolest. They're the most amazing. So we don't want anything like that happening to them, but we do want it happening to you often, Kyle. We want home invasions for you, so you know what it's like to feel scared, because that's how we heal. Let me ask you this. Would you want your hypothetical son Preston to grow up in a world dominated by colonialism, toxic masculinity, and a lack of crime, which isn't even real in the first place, as we've established? Do you want little Preston to go to school and be deprived of learning about butt sex, Kyle? Do you want a wife who adores you and treats you well? Because that's super right-wing and super inappropriate. My inquisition will press on right now, Kyle. Do you want the people in this country to have shared history, shared values, shared language? Hello, Hitler McKyle, or Kyle McHitler. Pick one, because that's you. How you need to embrace dogs being outlawed because dogs make Muslims upset. You need to allow open borders because borders are about as real as prisons. You need to embrace free healthcare for all, even super fat, unhealthy people who take no responsibility for anything. You don't want to be some heartless prick, do you, Kyle? I think you need to get yourself a mentor named Halston so you can become Halston, becominghalston.com. Kyle, buy it. Make that a resource center for people who have backwards ideas of what a country is and outdated ideas of right and wrong. If you're listening to this right now, take careful note of how firm I'm being with Kyle, because force and a condescending tone, mission critical when it comes to changing people's minds about pretty evil ideas. Freedom of religion, Kyle, that's what the founders wanted. It's right there. That means all religions. Hindu, Jedi, Satanist. Everybody has their right to practice whatever they want. And if you don't respect it, then Jeff Bezos is going to send a murder bot to kill you, which is what you deserve for being so mean. Kyle, every religion is basically the same thing. So you have to just say that Islam, Hinduism, Judaism, it doesn't matter. You just have to say that it's as important as Christianity, which isn't important at all, but all those other things are important. Are you tracking with this, Kyle? Try to keep up. I know you're an idiot and also evil, so a lot of this might not really sing for you, but that's the challenge that we're up against, right? Backwards bigots like yourself getting in the way of the life worth living for everybody. When early pioneers were blazing their way across the country, maybe on the Oregon Trail, do you know what they were actually thinking? They weren't saying, "Thank God for my family, the wilderness is so tough to navigate." They were saying, "I hope that one day all of this will be forgotten and that this whole land will be given away for the specialty price of on the house." Kyle, if you aren't participating in the expeditious reimagining of the country, you're an enemy of the state, enemy of the people, enemy of progress, and you deserve to be hurt. I don't want you to get hurt, but you're making us do this. Kyle, you're leaving us no choice but to socially construct you repeatedly with sharp objects, maybe even guns, which are evil. You shouldn't have them, but everybody else should. I know you think you have to step up and defend your country from enemies, foreign and domestic. Those are just made up terms and ideas, Kyle. I hope you know that. No such thing as an enemy. It's just a friend that I don't understand yet. All enemies that you think are enemies are actually just better people than you. I learned that at my local junior college. I've been taking night courses, just trying to bone up, get with the times. A lot of Republicans, a lot of conservatives, Kyle, they think like you do. And we're going to need to change their minds. And if we can't change their minds, we're going to have to stop them from breathing. That's just the way things are in the good old US of A now. And you can either embrace it or you can get hurt. Take a pause, breathe in the magnetism and viability of what I'm saying. If it weren't for stupid, backwards men, hate men, right? If it weren't for you guys, Kyle, at least the unenlightened, I'm pretty aligned on everything, as you can tell. If it weren't for you chauvinistic, backwards, bigoted pigs, we could just move forward unimpeded towards utopia. But Kyle, you're a pest. You're a disease, not just your ideas, but you because of who you are on a cellular level. You inherited wickedness from the day you were born, and you must repent. You must atone to women with nose rings, and you need to feel a sense of crushing guilt over just about everything towards the people of Malaysia. You don't even seem remotely sorry for the people of Malaysia. What the hell is that all about? I think we just got to kill you, Kyle, because you're not going to be a good father to little Preston. I don't think you're ever going to achieve Halstonhood. Halstonhood? Tomato, tomato. You deserve to die and never reproduce, Kyle, based on your worldview. God bless America, any God you choose. Kyle, that's what you're resisting. And it's just disgusting. It's sickening. Kyle, you probably wouldn't even name your kid Preston or Braxton or Aidensley. And we just can't take that risk. The only guys that we want around are virtuous cowards who don't rock the boat. I'm seeing this all play out right now. Your first mistake would be not aborting your child in the first place, because children, as we all know, carbon, it's up the wazoo, that's going to blow up the world. So you don't abort your kid, and then you don't name him Preston or Prestonley. And then he goes to school and you try to protect him and baptize him and instruct him on morality and patriotic values. Hitlerian, Kyle, that's what that is. If he got bullied in school, you'd probably teach him to defend himself. Not okay. If he went to college, you probably wouldn't even encourage him to binge drink and hook up with sluts. Problematic, Kyle. You probably wouldn't give him an AI-enabled tablet. So he'd be toast. He wouldn't have a constant stream of reminders of his inherent genetic and spiritual wickedness at every turn. And that can turn out poorly. Look at how you turned out, Kyle. You didn't have that, and look at you. I can barely tolerate it any longer. Kyle, you probably wouldn't let Prestonley skateboard past the age of 15. You probably wouldn't allow him to become an adult skateboarder addicted to fentanyl and gayness. You wouldn't let him run for president of the after-school gay porn program. You'd probably discourage him from getting a tattoo of a jaguar paw or a dragon. I'm just anticipating all the wrong things and how restrictive and evil you would be towards this little fella that you were supposed to take care of. You probably wouldn't even let doctors give him 75 vaccines before age 2. Anti-vaxxer, Kyle. Add another label to your bio. You'd probably write your child into your will when that money could be better spent going to the government. Kyle, the government knows how to spend our money. They always do the right thing. And you just have never believed that. And it's disheartening, but it's also infuriating. I need to reset on the point that all of this is best corrected by harming you. Because harming people, violence, it's the only way we get through to twisted weirdos like you, you'd probably try to stop your child from being abducted if somebody wanted to human traffic your kid. Just let him take the kid, Kyle. Just let him take the kid. This is how things are now. This is who we are. This is Mom Donnie's America. Exactly how the founding fathers foretold in their private journals, yet to be released. But it's there. I am certain of it. I just need you to get with the times, Kyle. I need you to get on board with the way things are going. I need you to embrace everything that I'm saying, because we're really close. We're really close to that utopia. If our world just becomes gayer, less patriarchal, and more steeped in immigrants from everywhere who don't speak the same language, we're almost at that perfect point when everything finally clicks. When ideas don't work and people give pushback, evil people like yourself, that is evidence that we just need more of that, and then it's eventually going to work out. That's science, Kyle. I believe in science. We're all hoping Kyle just kills himself so we don't have to do it for him. I feel it, you feel it. No hard feelings, Kyle. It's just the way things are. Don't be mean, Kyle. Kill yourself. Don't be mean. And I think that's where we're going to wrap up today. If somebody needs to hear this, if somebody you know needs to receive this episode in a text message because they share Kyle's backwards ideology or slivers of it, send it to him. That's how we move forward. That's how all of this gets sorted out. But that's DarbyCast Wildcard Friday.